Today I'm going to be talking about summer stress for the lawn, and I'm going to talk about what causes it and how to mitigate for it. So stick around for this video. Hey guys, welcome back to the Mike Botro's DIY channel, where I teach you everything I know about DIY for your home, garden, and auto. Now what do you think about this lawn? Does it look nice? I think it looks pretty nice, especially from this angle. But when we get closer into the lawn, you will start seeing browning in certain spots, like there and there, and it's pretty much all over the lawn. There are brown spots. Now what are the causes for this kind of summer stress? Probably already have heard that heat from the summer causes stress, but it's been actually pretty mild around here. Been warm, but it's been really rainy. So what else could be causing this kind of stress? Well, this all looks to me like fungal damage, and it's caused because of, in my case, I had let my lawn get really overgrown. And as the lawn grows taller, it keeps moisture closer to the soil. It flops over more. Warmth and humidity, and especially rain, are a recipe for disaster when it comes to fungal activity. So what am I going to do to mitigate the fungal activity? There are several options, but I'm going to give you 3, 4, one optional step. First step you got to do is get your grass back low, and you're going to want to bag it. You want to take all of the fungal activity, all the fungus that you can get out, and throw it out of the lawn. You don't want it to stay in there. The lawn was actually about 8 inches before I cut it down. Last week I cut this area of my front lawn down to 2.5 inches. The other side of my driveway I cut it down to 2 inches, but today I cut it at 2.5 to help hide a little bit of the brown. But this side I just couldn't do it. It was going to be too tough to bring it down that low that fast. You're going to want to bring it down in stages, because it's going to be too much to get 4-inch or 5-inch clippings. Bringing it down at one time is too much. I'll cut it at the highest that your mower can go, or 1 or 2 notches below that. Aim for like 4.5 inches maybe. Do it again, add a notch or 2 lower, cut another 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and do that in the other direction. So like, for example, if I went this way the first time, go that way the next time. I did it in 3 steps. The third time I cut it down to my final kind of cut, so from 3 to 2.5 inches, only a 1/2 inch on the last cut. So cutting it down low is going to help it to dry out, because it's not laying down flat, it's not trapping the moisture, and you really want to start getting it to dry out. Now let's talk about step number 2. Step number 2 is getting the brown out as much as you can. You can do that in a couple ways. You can use a mechanical dethatcher like a Sunjoe. You could rake it with a dethatching rake or a Groundskeeper 2 rake. It really works good at dethatching. Or you could use a liquid. In my case, I decided to use Next's liquid dethatcher. It's called D-Thatch. I've got a link for it in the description. Now what it does is it has microbes, yeast blends in it. The yeast is going to help to digest all the brown stuff. It takes time. It's going to be a lot slower of a process than mechanical dethatching, but it'll still help to digest the brown, so the brown will slowly start to disappear. And it has molasses. The molasses is going to help spur that bacterial activity. So once the yeast and the bacteria and other microbes that are already in the lawn digest all that molasses, that it's gonna make them go crazy, and then they're gonna be even more encouraged to go after whatever is left. You could just spray plain molasses and it has a similar effect too. So either option is good. It also has humic and fulvic acid in it too. That's another benefit of using a liquid versus a mechanical aerator. It'll return some nutrients to the soil. There's also other liquid lawn dethatchers or aerators that have molasses and microbes in them, and I'll link to them in the description. One of them being the Covington Naturals, which I used a whole bottle earlier this season, and it made my lawn look beautiful. But I have D-Thatch and I need to use it, so I used it this time. I actually used it a week ago, so here we are at the 1 week spot of using D-Thatch, and it did help to green it up a little bit. But the best thing, especially for a fungus, is get it out. So if you can mechanically aerate, dethatch it, go for it. Now let's get on to step number 3. Step number 3 is, in my case, is optional. I'm kind of avoiding it. but it's using chemical antifungals. And there's a couple of them that I talked about last year. I used propiconazole and the BIO-STIMULANTS spray, and I used the Disease X, which is azoxystrobin, I think is how it's pronounced. But in my case, I don't really want to use them because I don't want to spray chemicals this year. I got little kids now who love playing around on the grass, and they're rolling around this year, where last year they were a little bit more restrained because it was colder and they were inside when I had sprayed them. So this year I don't want to spray anything that can hurt them potentially, and I'm not saying that it will hurt. I don't know how dangerous these are, but I don't want to risk it either. But if you have the ability to use them, you want to use them, you can try them. The Disease X is granular, and you can also get the propiconazole granular too, the BIO-STIMULANTS. And the granular, I think, is maybe a little bit less of a risk because it's not sitting on the leaf blade, but it does take a little bit longer to work because it has to go in through the roots. It's a systematic antifungal, so it'll help fight the fungus from the inside out. Or you could use the sprays, and they go a little bit faster. They sit on the outside, they can pause or halt or slow the spread of the fungus. Which brings me to step number 4. In my last video, I talked about my fertilizing plan, and a few weeks ago I put down Double Dark, and you can tell the Double Dark did help to green up the lawn really good, but the nitrogen may have contributed to the fungal issues because it was pushing a lot of growth, and I had a low ability to mow because of all the rains, and that caused the issue that I talked about earlier. It got too tall, trapped the moisture, and caused fungal problems. So I probably should have avoided that because of the rains, but I'm already there, so too late, but it looks nice. As I mentioned in the last video, we were gonna wait until August to put down the stress blend, and tomorrow is August 1st, and tomorrow is gonna rain. And the stress blend is a high potassium blend of fertilizer with low nitrogen. That low nitrogen is just to help to get the iron and other nutrients into the leaf blade. The potassium is really what we're after. The stress blend is a 20% potassium blend. It is a mix of muriate of potash and sulfate of potash. Another good option too is, as I used in my previous video, if you want to use starter fertilizer, like I could put down starter fertilizer instead of putting stress blend. It has only 12% potassium instead of 20, but I have this and I want to use it because it's good for the summer. And so I will be putting that down today. Adding this potassium is going to help with the overall health of the lawn. It's going to help with moisture retention too, since the rains seem like they have calmed down around here and we are going to be facing more heat. It may be raining 1 day a week instead of raining 4 days a week as it was before. So those were the 4 steps to taking care of fungus issues. First one was cut it low. Second step was to get the brown out. Third step is optional if you want to spray chemical antifungals. If you want to try that, and if you want to see some other recommendations for using antifungal disease control, I will link in the description to Clint, the Neighbor Dominators video. He had a fungal issue too this summer, also in Michigan from all the rain that we had, and he used chemicals in his lawn. He got some good results, so I'll link to his video if you want to check it out too after you finish watching this video. And the 4th step is to give the lawn some more nutrition to help it to have stronger defenses against the heat and fungal stresses that you're going to get in the summer. Alright, I give up. I just could not keep up with cutting, and the grass has grown back to about 6 inches or so. It's been so rainy, and I've been busy with work and with other stuff around the house, and we had a major power outage in the area yesterday, and there's a bunch of houses that are out. I was helping my parents, so I just haven't had a chance to get another mow in and keep it short. I sprayed Aerate and RGS and D-Thatch again a couple weeks ago or last week, and the lawn's looking really nice. You can see from this angle how nice and green that it's gotten. But for real, that stress blend, look at that. Look at that, it's looking really good. Oh man, it really brought back the color to this lawn. What do you think? Have you tried the stress blend yet? Tell me your results. I want to hear them. Leave them in the comments below. But it's hiding a dirty little secret still. I just raked up this like 2x2 foot area over here with this beautiful groundskeeper 2 rake, and all of that is still buried inside the lawn. So I think you know what I'm gonna have to do next, and that's gonna be the subject of another video. Overseeding season is right around the corner, but I might not be overseeding this year. Subscribe to my channel to find out why. But if you want to see how I dethatched my backyard, I've got a link to that video over here. If you want to get ready for your fall rehab or renovation, I've got a playlist for all the rehab I did last year for my front yard and my backyard that you can check out to prepare yourselves to overseed in a week or two come September or something. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.